Hello, and welcome to the Custodial Cast, where we really clean up the topics. So, this is how we work. We have a focused topic each cast, usually a topic that will create an opinion based open discussion, as well as topics that we have noticed and feel should be talked about. A few notes that we are not PG, and this cast is not for young kids. These discussions are open ended, and they do not have one answer. Our opinions are simply that. None of our opinions are facts. You must do your own research to form your own opinion. We will allow civil debates, but no violent or insulting talk is allowed.
Yo, guys, what do you think about school? How do you like school?
It's pretty whack if I do say so myself.
How come?
All right, well, with all this Corona stuff going on, like ever since Corona hit, it's just been e-learning, like at first it was a nice change, we get to stay at home and sleep in, But then
Ye-
as the more it kept going, the more we kept having to do e-learning, the worse and worse it got, Like ever since the end of summer break, it's just been full e-learning every single day, oh you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
For
you
us,
guys have
Yeah.
e-learning too.
No, I totally
for
get what
us,
you mean. And, there's only, so much you can learn from a computer. You
Exactly.
really got, like, especially, like, for example, I'm in a cooking class, right?
Mhm.
And, I can't learn how to cook off of a computer, because my teacher, she doesn't have the ability to always make make these online cooking classes for us. You
Mhm.
know, usually we're there and we're working as teams, doing real restaurant style cooking. Working as a team, learning how different instruments in the kitchen work, and
Yeah.
and there's plus all that lack of interaction. People are going nuts because they're not interacting with people. That's a humans are a social animal and they need
Yeah, the
Exactly.
to
one-on-one
be
interaction is
interacting with
lost
other
with
people.
that.
Yeah, and if I could just add on to that, one of my classes is autos, and yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah,
only so much you can learn in that class because, well,
because I took that class. I know what you're
part
talking
of it
about.
is yeah, part of it is like, oh yeah, learning, like tests and all that. But a big part of it is actually like being able to work on a car and learn how the
For
systems
sure.
work, and you can't do that if it's on a computer because, well, a computer is not a car. Computer's a
Yeah,
computer.
a lot of the classes, like hands-on learning, like you can learn all the parts of the car, but you'll never know
Yeah,
how to
you don't get that
like where they
hands-on
are.
kind of
Yeah.
like
experience.
there's a
It's
physical part of all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
gym class, they lost like the physical part of it a lot, even
Yeah,
though
like
they
I'm
used
Do you
having
think
no
they
fun with my
improvised
PE
well?
classes because we're not doing real PE.
well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
but
can I
stop.
just add? Can I
I was
just
so
add on
excited
that
to
my
do
PE
like
class is
competitive
really
sports with all
stupid.
my friends.
yeah,
So
PE
my
nowadays it's pretty dumb, not gonna
PE
lie.
is like my
Yeah.
my PE teacher. She basically assigns us these workouts for 4 days a week. But first off, the app that we use is really stupid.
Mhm.
Like
Is
it's
it
really
mapped by,
it's not very user friendly. It's like
is
it's
it
really
mapped
hard
by
to
Zoom?
navigate.
Yeah, but to be
What
fair,
happened?
how else are they able to improvise? Because like you can't
I don't
do
Well,
think
much if there's
like
no hands-on learning.
you could just teach us about actual like
start teaching
actual
how
actual
um
concepts,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
how
yeah,
start
like
but that's
teaching
like
fit
the
works,
whole
like
thing.
yeah,
You're
but you
nutrition
can't
even.
you
Teach us
can't, for
about
yeah,
I'm talking
example,
about
nutrition.
like
hands-on learning, like we said, like you need the physical part of it. You
Hmm.
can't just talk about concepts of being in shape and
And yeah,
not
exactly. And
I'm
how are
talking
you
about how
gonna
like you can like
actually
you're able to
how are you
work
actually
actually
certain
work
gonna
muscles
out
and
at
stuff, like
home
how
with or
certain
without.
muscles
mhm.
work and what's best to like get those muscles to work
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
you're
how are you actually
and
gonna
like
go,
to tear
how
them
are you
up and then
actually yeah,
rebuild them.
how are you actually gonna like prove that your students are actually doing the exercises? Like they could
Have them
just say,
step on
"Oh
a
yeah, I did
scale
it."
every day.
well, either
Well,
that or
yeah,
yeah,
I
just
don't
record a
think
yeah,
that's a
video.
problem.
Like
Screenshot
for
the
Zoom,
scale.
like Zoom is all of America is using for
True
high
Zoom. That's what I
e-
have to say.
online
True Zoom.
learning, and like that's I don't think that's much of a problem. Like how else are they gonna do it? Like those apps and doing your workout on Zoom. I know I've done that, but the thing is about Zoom and like the teachers is like forcing them to turn on your cameras. I don't
That's
Oh
find
yeah,
that
yeah.
like
My
that's
my
that's
school my school
unacceptable.
just my school just announced that once the next semester starts, they're gonna require that.
like
No,
I
see,
was
here's the
like,
thing. Here's
okay,
the
yeah,
thing.
you want to see the students, but like I
But I
was
don't
like,
always
okay,
feel
I don't
comfortable
have to
doing
Yeah,
it.
turn
but
it
yeah,
on.
like what if I have to use the bathroom, but I still want to learn? You gonna have me keep my camera on while I take a dump? Like, come on.
That is
I
true.
could if you want me to. I
If
could
I'm
if I
being
want me to. I
honest,
wouldn't have a problem with that.
if I'm being honest,
But
I bring my
No,
my
no, 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 no,
concern
no,
is
no,
you.
no, no. Wait. I just wanted to say that we had like Wednesdays were more of like additional help days.
When they
You
took,
guys,
oh my God, sorry.
I
yeah.
wish I had additional help
No,
days.
no, no. But here's the problem. They announced that Wednesdays would be mandatory and cameras are required in the same email.
Oh, and it's gonna be longer next semester as well.
Wait,
I'm
what
sorry,
do
you
mean
guys
longer?
are getting.
Yeah, they're gonna for every class it's gonna be from 30 minutes to 45.
Oh, imagine getting
Are
only
you
45 minutes
serious?
of class.
Yeah.
Wait, are you?
My class, as it stands now, is an hour per period, and I have a class that takes up 2 periods.
Wait,
Joe,
do you
are
go
you
into
No,
like
no, we usually have an hour and 10 minutes for each class, but we have
No,
like
no,
four
but
in one day.
but do you like actually go into 3? Do you do all your classes every day?
I do all. Well, not all of my class, like all
Do
of
you
the
do like
classes I have.
half and half?
I do 3. I do 3 classes one semester, and the other 3 the next semester.
Yeah. But also with
Wait.
the whole Chromebook thing, I'm at this is full honesty. When I'm taking a shit, I bring my Chromebook with me just in case if they call on me.
Thank
I'm not
you.
joking.
I'm not the only one who does that.
That's so
Dude,
weird, dude.
I'm
I
like,
don't do
oh,
that.
if they
I do
call
not
on
do
me,
that.
I'm
I
just
I don't
in
do
another
that.
room.
I'm gonna miss the
Really
lesson. What I'm gonna miss I'm gonna miss what he's teaching. So
I've
why not
done
just
it
take it in
before.
there, listen while you take the best dump of your life?
No, but the thing is, like, I was fine. Like, yeah, have your cameras on. Like, look from the teacher's perspective. They don't want to be talking to a black screen all day. But the thing
Yeah.
is, you got to
Oh,
compensate the
I
students.
didn't think that's where you're going with that.
You might not feel okay. Don't take it the wrong way, but the students might not feel comfortable. Like, doesn't the
Yeah,
student
yeah.
learn
Like,
best
they're
yeah,
also-
in their
I'm very
comfortable
uncomfortable
environment?
with it sometimes because I'm a very
I'm comfortable
fidgety
with it all
person,
the
and I see all these people
Yeah.
sitting there quietly doing nothing, and I'm just moving around the entire time, and I feel
Yeah.
like, oh, they're all looking at me like I'm a tart or something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not a bad
That's
thing, but I'm a
Yeah.
fidgety
I
person as well.
really, I
Yeah.
really
I have
don't
to
like
move
it.
around all the time.
It makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Like, students learn best in their comfortable environment, and they got to compensate that there could be more than one person in that room. A
But-
lot of people share rooms with their siblings, so they could have literally another person there as well.
But at the same
There's a
time,
bunch of incidents with that happened, like where they had the cameras on and then something happened where like someone was naked in the
I saw a
background.
video of someone.
Wait, Joe, what were you gonna say?
But at the same time, they're trying to minimize cheating, and they don't want you to just leave your computer. So like, of course they can.
Cheating
call
is
on
kind
you.
of inevitable. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, there is a lot.
I can just
more
go on my
opportunities
phone
to
and just
cheat.
put it right next to the Chromebook
Yeah,
screen, act like
yeah.
I'm paying attention to him.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way that you put your phone right in front of the screen, you just start typing the answers or like the questions. And you
Exactly.
get the answer.
Yeah.
Like they're not gonna do anything. Like that's something that they can't avoid. And some teachers
There's
I
no
had
evidence. There's no
actually
evidence.
said, "Well, if you do cheat, I wouldn't know." Like they
Exactly.
wouldn't know. That's the thing. You just wouldn't know. What are you gonna do? Put like a camera right behind them just so you can see them. What they
And
have on their desk in front of
what
them?
if you do catch me? What if you do catch me cheating? What are you gonna do? Send me home? No.
Well, this is
No, I'm just
also
kidding.
this also comes into play when you think about it for like if colleges were to look at, for example, like your COVID years and notice that your grades are a lot higher, do they just assume like it's cheating or
Yeah,
like, what?
that's probably like the main concern I have as if I were to go to college
Yeah.
because
My
of how
kids are
much
obviously
different
higher.
our school system is than it was like last year. How are they gonna look at it or at our grades? Like how are they gonna interpret it?
Yeah, like I wonder if
grades are
Don't get
they're
us
actually gonna
wrong,
look
but
at the
it's also-
grades.
Well, if you
of,
were to
like-
get good grades during this semester, as well as other semesters, it shows that you're a good student.
Yeah,
I
but
feel
Yeah,
still,
but
I
like,
wonder if
what
you're gonna-
about the students where they had lower grades during COVID? What would they do for that?
Now are compensating. Like if you have a lower grade, then it could be like anything else, but they shouldn't dock points or like lower their grade just because of like internet issues or just the fact that it's online and not everyone has the same access to good internet.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
and that's
is-
I'm kind of guilty of this myself, but see, if I ever forget to join a class like Meet, then I'll just say that I have internet issues and then they'll automatically excuse me. Like I'm surprised more people don't take advantage of that.
Exactly.
Like I mean,
And
some
that's like
people
a huge problem too. Like I'm
some
guilty of it
people just
myself a few
tell the
times.
truth. They're like, I was late and I'll accept the responsibility. Some people do what you said, and some people actually have that problem. I don't think that's nothing they can control. Like you can't
Like
control what you say.
I do it, but I don't condone it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of
Yeah.
like, oh,
I
I'm
mean,
an
everyone.
alcoholic, but I don't want you to drink. Don't do drug.
Yeah,
I'm
but the
a
thing is,
drug addict, but don't do drugs.
like saying that you're late for class. Like everyone's done that. That's not like a huge thing. It's like, oh, you were going to the bathroom. Why didn't you do it before class? Like wake up earlier. Because I know
Yeah, and
some teachers might
I
like
feel like
that.
that can be easily abused in a time like this because, well, what are they gonna? They can't prove that. Oh, your internet's actually good.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
going
but
back
like
to the whole like,
this is not.
and
Well,
go.
this is. There you go.
You could go. You could go.
Okay. So like this is not like Zoom classes are pretty frustrating, but the thing is the school system, even when we were in school last spring, it was still pretty like the I know Zoom learning is like more recently, like
Hmm.
this semester for students, but like last year I learned a good amount and like didn't have to do any of the Zoom learning and it wasn't as frustrating. And it
Yeah,
just makes
no.
it more
Last
anxious for
semester,
students.
last semester was not like the
Oh,
final
it wasn't
like the
hard at
second
all.
semester of 2020, 2019, 2020 year. That was not hard. That was actually very easy. I was less stressed out and I had more time to myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like going back into this semester as well. This semester it started off a little bit tough, but like as we go into the final week and all that, it wasn't that bad.
I think so.
Because
Yeah,
you
I'm
got
gonna be
used to
honest.
it.
Like
That's the problem.
once you get used to the whole online learning thing, it's not that hard.
No, but
Like
going
yeah.
back to what you guys were saying earlier about like the good grades and like being a good student, like you can get the best grades, but you don't even know how to boil water. Like that's just an example. Like you don't even know the basic things. Like outside
Yeah,
of
that's another big issue with school. Like, oh, they teach you all this, but like, oh, well, can you teach me how to pay taxes? Nope. Go to
They
H&R
teach you
Block. Have
obedience,
someone
not
else do
life
it for you.
skills.
Yeah,
Mitochondria is
exactly.
the powerhouse of the
They're
state.
basically teaching you the lifestyle of like what, like having like a 9 to 5 office job, kind of. Like they're not, or you know what I mean? Something like
Yeah,
that, you
I
know.
think so. Like just sitting there listening to
Like,
people
oh, go
talk.
to college or whatever, you know. They're all trying to teach you to do all the same thing instead of, catering to what exactly you want to do. Like they have done something like that where like, oh, you want to go in the army, go to the army, trade school, but I feel like it needs to be more what's the word? Like
More open for
more
options.
more open towards like even in like freshman for like just the years in high school because sure college is where that's where you get a specialized education, but why not start give the options to do that kind of specialized education in high school.
That's
Yeah, no,
true.
I think yeah,
They also give
but
you
no,
like options to explore as well, and that's probably
Hmm.
it's a bit open in high school like as compared to college where you just choose like one special like
Hmm.
one thing that you main, I guess. And
that you
like in high
major and a
school like
minor.
yeah, sure you can like I guess direct yourself towards like a certain science or something. Like once you get into senior
Yeah,
year, you're
because
yeah.
how it is right now, like everyone has to take a math class, everyone has to take English, but what if I don't want to be a mathematician, what if I don't want to be an author?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
that
That
why
exactly.
doesn't
force
make
that's
sense.
the
students
Why do
problem.
I
Like
have
I'm
to
why
learn 4 years of a language I already speak? I
exactly
know the
like
basics of
why
it. Like I don't
yeah
need to know how to annotate Great Gatsby to make my life
exactly
the
Yeah,
way I
but
want
in
it to be.
retrospect,
I
you're
don't
not gonna
need
know.
to
exactly
Like
know how to annotate
you can
the
be like
of
most
mice and men to be able to become a biologist or a
well
gymnast, you
mice and
know?
men isn't really about biology. Yeah.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. I don't need to
Yeah, yeah.
annotate books
Like,
to have to know how
why
to
not make it
do
so
these
that,
things.
yeah, why not make it so that the classes are an option, they're still there, but maybe not, force it down every student's throats because, well, maybe I'm not good at math, maybe I'm not good at English, and I just fail those classes because, well, I'm not good at them.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then it just makes you look bad for colleges.
Welcome, Shadow.
Yeah, but to play
Like, but
devil's
in
advocate,
retrospect, But in retrospect, like for English classes, like you say, like you're gonna have to write in your life. Like just because like you don't, I'm not gonna become a writer or like write these books like the Great Gatsby, doesn't mean that you're not gonna be able to write in the future and like reading comprehension. Like you can read things. Like what if, for
Exactly.
example, like you said, you're a biologist, right? You get a
Mhm.
report from your coworker saying, "Oh, you got to follow this report and you got to do something." Like you got to write in the future, and having good writing structure and like using correct grammar. Like,
Right, but then
Mhm.
that's what they should focus on. They shouldn't be focusing on these books that bore me out of my mind.
Exactly.
They should
Like
Well,
focus.
well, that's what
make it
like
more. Yeah.
school system is really corrupt. They don't teach you a lot of the stuff that our parents might have learned, and it's just constantly changing. And
Oh,
I
can
don't
I
really
add another
support
thing
just
too?
in
what?
retrospect. Don't say like the school is like all bad, because of course you're gonna need to write. You're gonna need to learn reading comprehension. The stories they give you are classic stories. That's the reason why they're either really good stories to help you learn, or just stories in general that are classics that are just famous that you just gotta learn.
Can I
You
just
don't
add
gotta
another
learn.
thing
You just
to
read it.
what I don't like? See, I read about something about this a while ago back, but supposedly when it comes to like bus companies or whatever, the reason why high school students start earlier than say elementary students is because supposedly it saves them money, but
uh-oh. Wait, did you cut out?
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he cut out.
But
I
like
can't
the thing that you're talking about, Danny, I don't know if I agree with that because like you don't need to learn Shakespeare. You don't need to learn how like people back in the day talked because nowadays we're never going to talk like that again. I'm like why would
that's
we
not the
just
thing of
revert back
learning
to
it.
That's not
Like I
the
said,
that's
it's
not
like a
the issue though.
classic
Yeah,
That's
but
not the
learning about the
story.
issue.
story, who needs to learn about like Romeo and Juliet and
Just
their
like
love
saying
life?
just like saying, "Oh, we don't need to play sports. It's just for fun." You don't need fun. It's almost like saying that. Of course, some people might not find sports fun, or some people might find reading fun. It's just a story that is just so famous that they just do it. They just have it for the students to learn it. It's
Ye-
just one of those things that it's not really gonna. I know this quote from Shakespeare. That's not gonna teach you. Sorry to say, that's not gonna teach you shit in life.
yeah.
That's not gonna teach you anything. Like, of course that's not. They know that. Like, oh, I'm gonna be a Shakespeare know-it-all in the future. It's like, yeah, you can, but like, do you really think that's gonna do anything?
I think
And
they're just
also,
trying
the thing with like Shakespeare is like it's something you have to see, because he's a playwright, not a book writer. He writes plays.
Mhm.
So to read what he's saying is different from seeing what he's writing because obviously, there's some purpose to what he writes, and so when you actually see it in person, it makes a lot more sense than when you read it.
Yeah, that is true.
Hello?
Like, it is better
Oh
acting
yeah,
that
you're
way. Yeah,
good now.
yeah,
You're
we
good.
hear you. You're good.
You cut out,
Okay.
Nathaniel.
Like,
All
that's
right,
just
so
for
I
Shakespeare. Oh, yeah, you can
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
all right,
continue.
so were you able to hear like when did I cut
I
out? Were
heard
you
what you
able to?
started saying about the bus companies.
Okay, okay. So, all right. So all right. So I read about something about like like high school students start school the earliest, elementary students start the latest. But see, the problem with that is teenagers that go to high school, they have a different sleep pattern than elementary students. Like they need more sleep, and they the time they start high school doesn't exactly align with that.
Yeah.
So the reason the reason why that's the reason why schools are like that supposedly is so that they save money. But like what's the point of saving money if well none of your students learning capability is hindered
Well,
by their lack of sleep.
Yeah, it's also to the
So
expense of, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Why don't we just make it so that high school students start the latest and elementary school start the earliest? So basically switch when those schools
That was
start.
supposed to happen this year.
Yeah, but it hasn't.
Yeah.
well, well, yeah, because of Corona. But yeah, that was. I remember reading something about that because the whole reason that's even the case is because well, they want schools want money, you know. So I just
Okay,
wanted to
see,
add something like that.
here's the problem with the school I go to. The thing is that we start at 7:40 in the morning, and
Hmm.
We start at
especially now during the winter,
Mhm.
I wake up. I assume it's like in the middle of the night to like because
Yeah,
it's super dark. I look at
because
my
it's like
phone.
still dark
It's
outside.
it's 6:50 when I see my phone. It's six
exactly.
fifty. So I should be up, but I don't feel like getting up because it's so dark.
That's
Yeah,
just something you gotta train. That's something you can't really. I mean,
yeah.
like,
That's
yeah,
not
they
really.
could start
Yeah,
at 8 o'clock. They could literally start school at 8 o'clock. But like,
yeah,
imagine you have a job at the same time. What are you gonna tell them? Oh, I don't want this. And then what's the boss gonna say? Oh, okay, you're fired. You got a job. Like, that's just something you gotta do. You gotta adapt. That's not really. I mean, like, of course, you could start at 8 o'clock, or even if your job, you have to start at 6 o'clock. Then you still gotta be up at even earlier, and it's still dark at 5 o'clock on
yeah.
winter
But
during the
yeah,
day.
to add on more to sleep schedules and all that. I remember having to wake up as an elementary school student at 8:30, and I'd still have time to do whatever before school starts.
Yeah, same.
So like, look at all that wasted time. If I were a high school student, like, oh, okay, I could sleep some more. I get more rest. I could learn better. But because of these schools, they want money. Well, I'm the one waking up early, you know, tired is really tired because I barely got any sleep. While these elementary school students waking up the same time as me, but they got all this time to do whatever. You know,
Yeah, I
like
think in a way they try. Well, I don't think they try to actually do it. Like, I don't think it's their goal to simulate it. But I think in a way they're just simulating what like jobs in the future could be like. But I think they do it too early, especially since like a lot of us are
yeah,
like in the
because
middle of our
this
puberty stages, and we need to.
exactly
Yeah,
you need sleep to grow
yeah,
and all that.
and
And
it.
if you're
Yeah,
taking
you
that
need to
away,
recover.
well,
You recover.
Yeah, they should
That's why you need
start
sleep.
doing it like once we reach like senior to well, they do it in
yeah,
college
yeah,
as well, but like they should start reaching that point where like in the beginning like freshman year, sophomore year, we should have a later time that we wake up so our
exactly.
health
Wait,
like
wait.
actually grows normally instead of just like having 6
I mean,
hours
that's what
sleep
late
days.
starts are for.
I mean, Joe,
You
I
can
think
have a
I know
day
what you're trying
just
to
chill
say,
in it.
but I just want to say like I think it should be split depending on like what type of school. Like if you go to like an elementary school, like let's just say from kindergarten to fifth grade, you should be able to go to school earlier, and then if you're in middle school, it should be later than that. High school later than that, and it
Yeah,
just goes
yeah, exactly.
on and on and on.
That's my point that I'm trying to get at. Why
Mhm.
don't we just do that? But
Because
Yeah.
the school needs money, and it has, and some schools have from
yeah,
pre-K all the
I
way to
remember
eighth
hearing
grade.
like it had something to do with the bus company, like paying the bus companies. But yeah, that was, you know.
Yeah, I
All right,
mean,
well,
it makes sense
what's up?
for high schools. They should start later. I just saying, like,
Yeah.
once you get into college, the whole early time makes sense because
Well,
most
yeah,
jobs
I'm
have
sure.
such an
Yeah.
early time that, like, you
Yeah,
have to
like
get used to it.
like at my job at one point I had a 6 to 2 shift.
Mhm.
So I'll wake up 5 in the morning, get ready, and go to work.
And at the same time, school puts you through a lot of pinches as well. Like, you have an essay due by the end of the day, and you have to, like,
Mhm.
you have to get it done.
Yeah,
Sometimes you
it's
procrastinate, and sometimes you don't. So, like, depending on that.
it doesn't really encourage students to get their work on time. It only encourages anxiety and like,
To
oh, I'm
get it
never gonna
done. Just
finish
Yeah.
say get
this.
it done.
But it also
Like
Yeah,
this
teaches
means you
because
you,
don't even
like,
have to work on how
like, oh, I'm
efficient it
never
is.
gonna finish this,
yeah.
and what's the point of even doing it?
It also
And
Yeah,
I
and
teaches
feel
you
like
to
sometimes
that
you
shouldn't be
manage
do
the
your
you do
case.
time
have
and
good,
work through a pinch,
and
though.
sometimes you have good teachers who will be a little bit more relaxed on it. They'll understand that you have things you have to take care of in life, and so they'll
Exactly.
understand if
Yeah, but
you
sometimes your
But
bring in
some
boss
teachers
more
won't.
aren't
time
like
into it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Not every
Oops.
teacher's like that. Every
Yeah,
teacher's
but
like a
when you're
basic
saying like an
teacher.
essay due by the end of the day, like you're not gonna get like in like for the SAT, right? You have to write a bit, and
yeah.
it's not like they're giving you a week's notice of gathering your evidence,
No, it's
drafting
just right
opinions.
then and now. You got
Yeah,
like a
so
few
like
hours.
that's. I mean, of course, it's not the best thing to do. It's just a skill, like working efficiently under pressure during a time crunch. Like that's is like one of the most important things you can probably learn. from those standardized tests as well, not just like studying
Mhm.
for
That's the only
specific
thing you learn
questions.
then. You don't,
But
and then you
yeah,
and then
I
you learn
agree.
your life decided by one
It is a
test
good, yeah. It's a good,
because if
it's
you
a
mess,
good,
oh sorry.
Oh, okay. It's a good lesson to learn, but what mixing it in with other academics doesn't really work out because it first off it encourages, oh, like I'm never gonna finish this. I'm not gonna do it. And
Yeah,
so
and
you
And then it
gotta you gotta teach those
priorities
separately.
as
I feel
well.
like.
and then
It
it
also
teaches
shifts
you that
priorities.
your life gets decided by one test.
Mhm.
Because if
Yeah,
you mess
that
up
of
this
course is like
test,
a
you might
big
not get
deal.
in the college you want. You might not be able
Mhm.
to learn what you want, and you won't be able to get into the career you want just because of one
Yeah.
test.
Yeah, like
So I feel like,
literally
yeah.
the teachers you have, like the letter they put on that paper is might decide the fate of your life.
Yeah,
Like
that's
put that in
that's that's a lot of
perspective.
That
pressure if you
that
Yeah.
actually
actually.
sounds more scary now that you put it that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, like that
Like that's what it
defines
is.
how you will do in life.
Yeah.
That
Like
single A.
you need to go to a building to give so they can give you a paper to say that you're smart, so that you
Mhm.
can actually go out and technically be more successful. Because life right now is just basically how you'll do on a test.
Yeah, exactly. And it shouldn't be like that. I feel like I feel like they should take the pressure away from learning and maybe make a separate class where, it teaches you how to work under pressure, and what really determines how you do in life is not the test but your actual academics. Cuz I agree, like working under pressure is working under pressure is definitely a
Is a skill that you need to know.
yeah, is a skill that you need, but don't make it so that you're under pressure to do your academics, so to speak, and that you know causes like a meltdown or like a mental breakdown or whatever, or
Do you?
anxiety of the sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
But do you think like the
So yeah,
school's adaptation
what's
to
up?
COVID, like, does it minimize or like did it lessen the pressure that most students have?
I'm
Or
gonna. I feel like it's kind of a mixed bag when it comes to that, where they don't have the pressure of taking finals
Mhm.
because everything's online, but they also have the pressure of doing all this online work on time, and you still need to keep up with your grades.
The thing I
But
hate about it is like
it's
having
harder.
to constantly take pictures of my work and upload it to my computer
Hmm.
from my phone and then download
Yeah.
it from my
Yeah.
computer and then copy it and then paste it and all this work for one
And yeah,
picture and I have to do it all over again
And it
yeah,
also
I feel
the
like
next
seems
test.
day for a
Yeah,
different class.
I
Yeah,
feel like test wise, the pressure definitely lessened, but academics wise, it increased
I
because
also
you're
do
no
feel
longer in a
like
learning environment.
kind of like what we talked about earlier. I think that like I said earlier, the last semester of 2019-2020 year, they did put that in both ways, both academics and tests, that it was less stressful. However, this semester I do feel like it is more stressful for just academics all in all, because like it's actually very easy to fail nowadays.
Hmm.
yeah. If I'm
Yeah,
being
the the pressure shifted from tests to academics now because tests aren't really a big issue.
yeah,
All
if
right,
I'm
go ahead.
being
I'm sorry, I cut you
Oh
off.
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. If I'm being honest though, like right before we or like during like when the pandemic started, like the last year, like last semester last year,
March.
I'd
Hmm.
say it was like too easy, probably to the point where it was a joke. Like there's so
It
much
really
little
was.
pressure at some points that I feel like that's not how the school system should work. I think it should be a happy middle, like a happy in between. Because
Yeah,
like
there's definitely a balance.
yeah, I just think it was too easy at the last half of the semester because if you have it that easy and then you just go into a job and you're like, "Oh shit, there's a lot more work in this job than I thought."
Yeah, yeah.
You're kind of screwed in a
It's
way.
it's
Yeah, but
jarring, I
also
guess you could say. It's
going off of that,
shucks.
like we live in the US, right? And
Yeah.
Hmm.
the US got hit like one of the last US was like the last country to really hit COVID hard,
Mhm.
right?
Hmm.
Like so when we got off in March, all the schools got off like in March. They said, "Oh, we'll be back in 2 weeks, like after spring break." After spring
Hmm.
break, "Oh, we got April off. We'll be coming back May." "Oh, yeah, May, maybe not this week, maybe next week." And then the thing is they didn't know that COVID was gonna this global pandemic that was just gonna hit so hard that they didn't have a plan to actually structure like Zoom
Hmm.
classes like we have now.
No, yeah, I get it. That's why I'm
Well, you
saying,
can't really put that on the school. I mean,
yeah.
how
Yeah, that's
who
not
no
the
one's
only.
gonna
Yes, you
no one's
can
really gonna be
because
able to.
my father teaches at a college, and they right from the start had a plan. They said, "This is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna go full
Oh, okay.
online. We're not doing this hybrid stuff. We can't do that. So this is our plan. This is what we're gonna do."
And to be
Oh,
That's
so they
fair,
already
exactly
had
like
a
it
plan.
too
school as
bad.
well.
Yeah, they had a plan. They made like obviously in the beginning they were confused and they didn't know quite what to do, but right from the summer they said, "All right, we're doing these classes online. These classes will be hybrid." And yeah, that's how they set it
See,
up.
this is what I
And
don't
even
like.
now
This is what I
they
don't
took away
like.
hybrid now because it was getting to the point where teachers were allowing their students to not wear masks and stuff.
This is
Oh.
what I don't
Oh,
like
is that
about
why
the
is that why
Well, it's
hybrid
that
no longer was a thing in your school? Because
No,
no one
see,
had
here's the
masks?
Yeah.
problem with
wait,
that.
No,
Here's the
that's what
Hold on.
problem.
happened
what's
at
Rocco
the
gonna
college
say?
Hold on,
my
hold
dad
on, hold
teaches
on.
at.
Oh, okay.
For
Here's the
my
problem
school,
with
they
that.
stopped doing hybrid because people actually started to get COVID.
So here's the
Hmm.
Shadow. I understand, and I hope you didn't get COVID, but
Nope.
the problem with hybrid is that they said, oh, we're gonna do this for as long as we can, but unfortunately, they said that, oh, we'll be back in next week, but then they continued to extend that. Like they said, oh, we're going back this week, 3 weeks after
That's the
Thanksgiving
same thing
break,
that they did
next
to us.
semester. Like they're just gonna keep pushing and pushing until they think it's okay, until the government realizes that, oh, okay, it's fine, you can go back. Everyone's herd immunity.
Yeah, and I think the problem that York had was just the fact that they were way too focused on getting their sports teams back. Like, don't get me wrong, it is really sad that like a lot of varsity people in senior year they can't.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. They just no longer had the opportunity to
Yeah,
prove
yeah, yeah.
themselves.
But like, there's nothing you could really do about it unless if you want to like risk millions of people's lives. And then what our district decided to do was keep trying to bring sports back, like including the super contact ones. And then people got COVID, and then they learned, or they
Yeah.
didn't even learn from their mistake because they did it again. They're doing it right now.
Yeah,
So
'cause they
like,
That
brought
is
volleyball.
dumb.
They brought
There
That
was
is dumb.
if
swim
you
back.
guys keep up with, say like UFC, like
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
fighting sports, they even rented out a whole island
Oh yeah, I
just
saw that.
for fighting. So, but you can't like so that's understandable. You have the money to do that you could keep doing UFC. But when it comes to high schools, well, you're not renting out an island, so why are you still doing these sports?
Yeah.
Why not
Just
do
imagine
something
a
more
high
like
They
school.
want
cross
money.
country where it's a non-contact sport?
Yeah.
Well, they
They
want to
Like,
give
probably just
equal
want money.
opportunity to every student. Like for example,
but
if
you
you're a
don't
cross country runner,
Yeah, but it's
you
at
don't
the
have
expense of
they're
like
trying to
millions
give
of
everyone
people's
equal
lives.
opportunity.
So I don't.
Yeah, but the thing is though, like you don't have to just do this one sport that you're good at. Why not branch out? They're giving you the opportunity to branch out, try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
like some
like,
people would say your varsity football, right? Football
mhm.
is a contact sport. It's a very physical contact sport that I mean, of course they brought back almost all the sports at the school we go to. But like then again, COVID, like is that really a good
Yeah.
thing to do?
Yeah.
It's just they want to bring
Well,
equal opportunity, which I don't
the
think is
best
really
the
smart.
best thing you can do to keep those sports is maybe like be really strict with temperatures, maybe make it mandatory to get testing, say every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
if
But
you
no, they
some
can't
that
have the
sounds
money to do that.
unrealistic almost.
They
Yeah, they
can't
don't have
have the
that sounds
money to do that.
unrealistic. So yeah, they can't really do anything else about it other than to just cancel contact sports and maybe just keep non-contact sports. But why not take the chance to branch out or maybe make the sports free to join? Because I remember back at your school when I was going there, it cost like how much to join a sport? Like
Yeah.
150? I forgot. But
Plus
That's
200
fair.
for some more
That's
200
more.
exactly.
that's a lot.
that's too much actually.
For some
Like,
sports, it costed money to try out, which is kind of
where
stupid.
where I
That's
go where I go
absurd.
to all the sports are free. You don't have to pay. You just show up.
Yeah.
And that
It's kind of dumb how you have to.
why not make it like that during the pandemic? Because,
Well,
well,
that
if
depends on the
you're no
school.
longer gonna do your favorite sport, just try and branch out. But you can't
I
because
feel like it
you gotta
depends
pay.
on the school and how much money they have. But
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
there
like
It
for
are
really
example, the
schools,
does.
school, the school we go to now, it's like a pretty expensive school. It's like they say it's
We
like
have a
it's an
shit ton of money.
award-winning. It is award-winning school we go to. So like, of course, they need money to be able to function, or else it's just gonna go down. Like the school we go to,
Not necessarily because the only thing that I could think of that they'd actually really need money for is maybe maintenance and food to provide to the students.
property
But
tax, school Chromebooks, they gotta buy those every single year.
yeah, but
Like,
when
actually,
my
like it's
Wait, you
more
have
school
to
than
buy
just
Chromebooks
maintenance
every
in a
year?
school.
when
I
my
mean, they
school
do
my
need
school is
Chromebooks.
pretty.
Nah,
School
just for the
weekends.
I
different.
remember seeing like
Yeah.
an award for my school at one point, but well, everything is basically free. The lunches are a lot cheaper than your school.
They
The
made
Yeah,
our
the
sports are
same
lunches
free.
quality
free.
though.
So I
They
just
made
feel
all of our
like
lunches free.
yeah, but I just feel like your school in particular, they just want money just to like, you know,
Yeah, but it also
Well,
depends on the
just
size of the
that's the kind of
school.
to
How
have
diamond
money.
big
district
is
we
your
live
guys'
in. It's just
schools?
Yeah,
get
it's kind of like
do
buying
everything
name
for
brand.
money kind of a town.
see,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind of
this is
like
the
buying
problem. This is
something
the
name
problem.
brand.
It's like if you're
That's
buying
it.
Nike, of course it may not be the best material, but you're paying for the name.
Wait, Rocco, what
Yeah,
were
you're
you gonna
paying for the
say?
name if when you go to York, because you're getting the same amount, you're getting the same education, say at another school, but this other school, everything is so much cheaper. Like
Well, saying which school, like the teachers getting the same education, that can be
Well,
debatable
yeah,
because like
that's
you
not
can have
necessarily true because each teacher kind of has their own way of
yeah, you kind of
doing
yeah,
things,
they
and
have their
certain
own way of
schools have
doing
different
things.
classes.
Yeah,
I
like each
Never-
understand.
person, each teacher has their different education. So like
well,
if they do better, and some of them will go to a better school. So like, and it's sort of like a feedback loop. Like the better teachers go to a better school just so they get more money, and the more money they get is by just being the best school. Like
well,
it's
that
kind of
might
like
be
a
true.
feedback.
If that was the case, wouldn't the education be so-called better or like better in that school? I noticed that my education, it either in terms of quality when I moved to a new school, it was the same or better actually. And this school is a lot less expensive to go to.
Is it a smaller
What school do you
school
go to again?
or
It's
Um,
a
Well, don't
you
don't
want
say
to
which
keep
school
it?
you
Are you
go to.
gonna? Are
Don't
you
say
gonna?
no, no,
which.
no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah,
Just
don't
don't
say
say
the
which school
school.
you
Don't
go
say the
to.
school.
But
Oh, well,
Is it
can I just say though that Joe actually said what school you guys go to earlier? I noticed he said,
but
Oh, I
like
did.
the
Okay,
district.
I'll edit it
It's
out
like a
in the
different
video.
just cut it. Yeah, cut it out.
district.
I could tell you guys, but you're gonna have
Yeah,
to
you
cut
should
it out.
probably. Yeah, you're
Or you
definitely
can
Yeah,
gonna
just
have to do
bleep it
that.
out or whatever.
All right. Well,
Oh yeah, cut it out.
wait.
All
Let me
right,
check.
so
Let me check how long or like what time it is.
Just probably like
okay.
beep it or something.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Say
can
it.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Say
get
it.
rid of these
All
last
right, you want me to
parts.
tell you now?
Yeah. Yeah.
wait,
I can tell you
wait.
now.
Can I say something before you say something?
Yeah.
What's
Rocco's
up?
been trying to say something for a while, so let's
Go
let him
ahead,
speak.
Rocco. I'm sorry.
I just wanted no, it's not a big deal. I at least remembered what I was gonna say. But I just wanted to say that the problem with the school system for me personally is that it's all different, yet it's all the same. Like they teach the different things, but it
Yeah,
all
I've noticed
leads
that
to the
different
same
schools are
thing.
different.
But but it shouldn't be like that. The thing it should
What
be
I
like
feel,
is
yeah.
have the same requirements with the same classes. It doesn't matter how the teachers actually teach. It just
Or
matters
yeah.
the quality.
Yeah, but some
Or
schools
yeah.
don't have the funding to have the kind of classes that other schools do.
You're
Or
right.
what
We
about
have
this?
we have cooking classes and we have auto
Yeah,
tech classes.
funding.
We have business classes. We have a class for graphic design. We have a
We
class
literally
for
have a class
making
that you can go to
fashion.
the hospital and watch live surgery. Like that is what that is. Let's just put that into perspective. How this school is. You can literally there's a class that you will go to a hospital and watch live surgery happen. That's for like the
Yeah, that's
medical
like
Yeah.
the
You also, in a
like
way,
the CNA
participate.
class, right?
Yeah.
Where, because I'm gonna
something
take
like
that class
something.
next year.
Mhm.
I'm planning on taking like a CNA class where I go to the community college in my area, and we learn how to, we take a course in being a CNA, and we see that kind of stuff. But on that topic, if the schools are so different yet the same, like how Rocco was saying, why don't we just why don't we just make it so that we're not meant it's not mandatory to go to the school that's in the area, and maybe do something
Yes.
more like how like bigger cities do, where you can choose what school you can go to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
the
have
school,
every right
you
to
have to
choose where
be
your
within
child goes
that
to
city
school.
to go to that school.
Yeah,
District has no
because
right
like
to tell you where you can send your
what if
child.
your child has what if that school isn't just isn't right for your child? And I feel like I'm a good example of this because my my grades when I went to your guys' school, my grades they're okay. They weren't anything special. Like I even for one class I even got like a D. But as soon as I moved and went to this new school, I'm not sure like about the exact reason why, but for some reason my grades just got a lot better. I'm getting A's and B's now. So I feel like it's definitely schools are different in say maybe environment wise or how they teach, but why not like that's all fine and dandy, but why not just allow students to choose what kind of school they want to go to, you know?
Right. And families shouldn't have to move
Yeah,
to a
they
different
shouldn't
town just to send their kids to a different school.
exactly. I didn't move just to go to a new school, but I moved for various reasons, but well,
I don't get
I had to go
why.
to the local school.
I don't get why because you live in a certain area you have to go to that school.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what if,
No.
for example, like I'm not gonna say which city we're at, but like you okay, here is this town, like you have like this town, right? You got this town, right? And then there's Neighborville, whatever, right next to it, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
you're like on the border, but you're technically not part of that city or town, so you can't go to that school. Like
Exactly.
the school we go to, like if you go to let's say just like for example, like you go to a school, right, and you live in another city, they will like literally try to kick you out. They will.
Yeah.
It just
Like
and you gotta
when
keep it a
I
secret as well.
when I first moved to the area, they actually sent a school security guard to go to the address we gave him, just to make sure that we actually lived at that address.
Holy crap.
Oh
What
my
type
God.
of what?
Actually,
Yeah, like, this is a
Yeah,
point
that
that
was that
No,
was
no,
that was
no,
odd.
that's sus.
That
Like,
was
what is
really
this?
odd, but
But why though?
that's BS.
exactly. Why is it such a big
Why do you
issue?
have to go to that school just because you live near it?
Exactly. Like why is that such a big issue? But
I feel like
yeah,
that
it's
wouldn't be an issue if all the schools were like closer to the same, like Rocco said. Like then we could just go to like whatever school, or we could just go to
exactly.
the school
Like
we live in it. Yeah.
distance wise, I am not far from you guys at all. I'm only in the next town over.
Yeah.
But why? Like I could have kept going to if that was the case. I could have just kept going. I'm not complaining. I like how I am. I like how my
You
school is right now. But
Wait. No, see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna say what school my brother goes to, but he goes. I am gonna say is that he goes to a different school.
Mhm.
what's up?
My brother and my sister went to a different school than me, and I went to the school I go to now and went to in the past for different reasons, but it wasn't my choice. It was my parents' choice because they obviously thought that it was better specifically for me and me alone.
Interesting.
And of course, like it's different for college as well. Like you can live here and then you can go to a school like miles and miles away, like two
Exactly. You
towns
could do
over.
that. Like
You could go
colleges,
to
they don't care
a
where you
school
live.
in a different state
Yeah.
Yeah, you
if you
literally can.
wanted
Like
to.
you could literally be in Illinois and then go to like Illinois, not Illinois, Indiana, like
Indiana,
university or
or you
something.
could go to Wisconsin, or
Or
you could go to
California
Iowa,
or something.
California or
Yeah.
or
New
Minnesota.
Hampshire.
Mhm.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just why can't high schools do that? I mean, we're not they're not going to be people aren't going to be driving from hours and hours just to go to school every single day.
Yeah.
But, just allow us to access the options just in the area?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean there'll be
Like, yeah,
two
what if
restrictions,
you were
but
like just a few blocks out of district range and you couldn't go to that school just because
Yeah,
of
I
that?
remember something like that where I actually used to live really close to you, Nolan. But the only reason we didn't go to the same school is because you were across that one street where it was like a border, where you go to this school, or you
Across
go
the
to this school.
street.
That's
No, I
unbelievable.
literally,
Across the
I
street.
literally lived right across the street from Nolan at one point.
That's true.
It was maybe like a
That is
2-minute drive.
Yeah, I know about that border thing because I kind of live
That
close
is
to a border as
dumb.
well, in a way. Not
Exactly.
really, because
Dumb,
now it
dumb
got like
bubble gum.
separated
So
by a
dumb.
highway. But yeah, it's.
I mean,
it's really
he wasn't
stupid.
really missing anything if he wasn't going to the middle school I was going to. But I'm just saying, like that was kind of odd. Like we're
Trust
like
me, middle
2
school
minutes
wasn't
away
good
from
no
each
matter
other.
where
Yeah,
you
go
went
to
in our
different
town.
schools.
Middle school was no good anywhere in this town.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's
They're all
true.
bad.
It was a bit of a joke
But,
at some
but
points,
it's
I'm being
just
honest.
it's just I'm talking about the principle. Like that's really weird. Why we're 2 minutes away from each other? Why don't we go to the same school?
Yeah, and of course, this is just all of our opinion. This is not really facts.
Yeah, this is
that
all
we just
opinion
can
based.
leave.
This
Yeah,
isn't
just
really.
all- It's just opinion with
is-
our
yeah.
sort of reason. So
We
like,
yeah.
watch
You have every right
It's
to
our
think what we're
opinions based
saying.
on the facts that is the school system.
You
Yeah.
have every right to disagree or agree. It's up to you.
And some districts
Yeah.
have it different as well. Like, we're just kind of talking specifically our district. Like, some districts actually have, like, where once you graduate from middle school, you get to choose what high school you go to. Or, like, that's the same thing with
Yeah, like
elementary school.
say any city based school,
Yeah.
you could choose what high school you want to go to. Say if you're getting bullied in this school or you don't feel safe in this school, you go to another one.
as
See,
sad
that's
as that
not
is,
what
that
we
is the
had.
reality of sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not what we have.
I know plenty of instances where that's happened.
Yeah, some school
And I feel like
environments.
schools don't even like sort of help bullying. It's like, oh, if you're getting
They
bullied,
don't.
say something.
Yeah, yeah.
They really
Well,
don't.
On the
you're
topic
being,
of
like,
bullying,
super insecure. Like you're getting insecurity from the person that's bullying you, whether it's like actually there or online bullying. Like if you know someone that goes
Yeah.
to the school, like verbally
On the
saying
top-
things
yeah.
online, like, you just gotta
On the-
say things. But the thing is, do they really do anything about it? Do they
No.
really make you feel better?
no.
They really
On the
don't.
topic of that, you guys are familiar with the zero tolerance policy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like to
believe
drink.
so.
The only reason that policy exists is so that the school doesn't get sued.
That is, yeah, that's the reality
Yeah,
of it. Like
they
people
don't
wanna lose
care.
money.
They don't care that one student is being bullied and let's say that leads to a fight and he defends
They
himself.
really don't.
He doesn't even start the fight, but he still gets in trouble.
Exactly.
The only reason is because they don't want to get sued by any of the people there. And
That's
And
understandable.
like that goes to like
I just
fights
think-
as well. Like if
like
you,
they're really gonna
yeah.
they're
Alright,
really gonna take into they're really gonna care more about say like money than a student's well-being. Like bullying can lead to suicide in some cases, and you're really gonna just protect yourself so that you don't get sued.
Yeah, and then
And that
you
kind
know
of
they don't
goes-
even. It depends on who's getting bullied too. Like sometimes it's if it's someone who donates enough money to the school, you know, they'll protect him. They'll go protect the kid whose family donates
Well,
money.
that's just
But if
corruption.
it's the kid who's
Really
bullying,
is
if
corruption.
it's the rich kid who's bullying the guy, some kid who's not donating as much money, they don't care.
Mhm.
They'll pretend it doesn't happen because you know if they get the parents of the bully angry, then they're not going to get as much money, and so
Along
they
the
want more
lines
money, and they're not
what
going
I
to do
was
it.
saying. Like if you're getting bullied and right, there's like a fight that happens. Like they say like both of you for fighting. Like you could really be the victim of it, and you'll still get.
Yeah, and it's astonishing how little these people do to actually prevent bullying. Like they might just say, "Oh, knock it off" or whatever, but
Yeah.
nothing.
And you know, it's not even
little to nothing
Sorry.
before that. Oh, go ahead.
it's not even just bullying. You know, it's this vaping and it's the
Yeah,
drugs
just
that go on in school.
anything
Like,
that is.
My dean, he does
Mhm.
more about people wearing hoodies and hats in the
Facts.
school building
Yeah, we have this
Exactly.
than
That
he
is
does
so
about people
true.
vaping in the
Exactly.
That
bathrooms
is
and
so
smoking
true.
marijuana in the bathrooms when
Mhm.
I just want to go take a shit. It's unbelievable.
And
I
they
just
can't
wanna
just
poop
act like they're blind
before
to it
class,
either.
and then the teachers are
just
like,
turn
"Oh,
a
you want to
blind
go to the
eye to the
bathroom?
things that
Why
actually
didn't you
matter."
go before
Yeah.
class?" I couldn't go before class because it was filled with the drug addicts in this school. It's unbelievable.
Then if
Yeah.
you go in there, they're gonna think that you're a part of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I hate.
It's like they turn a blind eye to the things that actually matter over the little tiny things that you can actually find anywhere, like a hoodie. Like what's that gonna do? Compromise, make sure they can't identify him.
And then they create more danger for you than they do with safety, like things like the ID scanners for lunch. Our school,
Exactly, I
you
remember
had
that.
I hate
you
that.
had
No,
to scan your ID to get into lunch. If you didn't have your ID, you had to go buy one, and if you didn't have it, they wouldn't serve you your lunch.
Yeah,
Why
there
do
had
you
been
need an
times
ID?
where it's been like,
What if I
Why do
forget
you
it
need
one
an
day? Are you gonna
ID to go
force me
into
to buy a new
lunch?
one
Yeah.
because I forgot it one day?
there
I
was
remember I spent $20 alone on buying new IDs that one
Yeah.
year.
Wait, why do you have to buy new IDs to go into lunch?
Because they didn't have these.
You lost it, or they had
Because they would not serve you lunch unless you had it.
No, the main
All
reason.
all we
the
have to
main,
do is once we grab our food, just put in a couple numbers and that's it.
That's what it used to be. You used to
Yeah.
be able to type
Yeah,
in
why
your
don't
ID
you
number,
just
but
why don't
not
you just
anymore.
type in your number?
Because
because
people
they
were.
have face recognition that just tracks
Yeah,
if you're the
and
actual
to
person.
top it all off, that whole thing was just a hazard in all sorts of ways. That
Yeah, what if
wouldn't
there was a
fly
school
anymore.
shooter? That's a
Yeah,
huge crowd of people in one spot.
Mhm.
Easy target.
exactly.
and like half the
What if there
doors
was a
are
Easy,
locked.
fire?
easy target.
Everyone panics in that crowd. People are gonna get trampled and get hurt.
People
They
get
won't be able to
trampled,
get out.
people get
Fire drill,
shot,
like, the stupid fire
and that won't
drills
fly
that
anymore
they-
because of Corona.
Like, I get like trying to be organized and stay calm during a situation, but the fact is, not everyone's gonna stay calm. And like, what are you supposed to do? Like, march outside the door in like a single file line? No,
How,
you
like,
gotta get the hell out
There's
of
a
there.
fire in the building. There's
Yeah,
fire
dude,
in the
I am
building. They
not
expect you
lining
to
up. I'm not lining up if there's a school shooter. I am booking it. I am doing what I gotta do to save myself. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm
Nothing
sorry.
else
I
matters
love you
but your
guys,
life in
and
that
I'd
situation.
I'd
No,
probably do something about
you're
you guys.
totally
I'd probably help you
justified.
guys.
No, you're justified.
But I wouldn't
You're
help some
totally
random person.
justified in
Some
your
random
decision.
You don't want to die. You
When
don't
something
wanna
like
die.
that
That's just
happens,
it.
it's yourself that matters the most. Your
Like I,
safety, not anyone else's, just your safety.
Just
like
That's
I'd
all that
probably
matters.
try and help you guys, but I wouldn't help some random guy.
Mhm.
No
Well,
way.
yeah, like
if someone falls, I'm
you
leaving
don't
them. I
take the
don't care.
risk. You don't want to take the risk and get killed yourself, you know?
Like, you
Right.
gotta get out. Like, that's the thing. Like, even
Like,
if
I
there's
am
a
not
school shooter in
lining
the
up single
hall,
file. No way.
like, it's not reality for everyone to just run outside and just like run and have the school shooter's gonna kill somebody at that point. Like, I get, like, yeah, stay in the class. The thing is, if you lock the door and like he knows there's
trapped.
someone
You're
in that
trapped.
room, he knows there's at least 30 or 25
Yeah,
people
these
in that room
these
He's
school
alone.
gonna try to
shooters,
get
they're not idiots. They know they've
They
been to
know how
school
everything
themselves.
They
works.
planned this.
But in
They
all
They've been to
honesty,
school themselves. They know how it works.
yeah. In all honesty, though,
most
there's
of the time.
probably
I would
gonna-
just probably just jump out the window.
Yeah,
That's
honestly.
smart.
Yeah,
That's
is.
smart.
If you're on the
You know-
first or maybe
Since
second
if they're
floor,
inside near
that
the
is a
middle,
viable
I'll
option.
just jump out the window and
especially
leave.
if you're by a
You might
Hey, you know,
tree.
this
break an
goes back
ankle
to
while
the
you're
lack of
alive.
control on bullying, because school shooters, they're not
School shooters are.
necessarily all bad
doing
people.
that
They're
just
people.
because
they
They
wanted
were
to do it.
formerly good people who were broken by the way society treated
By
them.
yeah,
They're just
various
getting
various
their
reasons.
revenge.
And no one,
mostly
no one,
due to
no one was there
society.
to help them, and they felt that that's how they had to act to be able to get
Yeah, the
noticed, to be able to
most
have people.
This
Yeah,
goes
it's all
back to
because of the
people killing
negligence of
themselves.
society. Yeah,
the
just like
the majority
schools
of those
and-
people doing the shootings, they're usually they're gonna have to be involved with the school in some way. Otherwise, why would they?
Yeah, they probably
such a
might
thing.
have went to the school before.
They might
and
have went to
something
the
happened to them.
school. They might have gotten angry because their child was affected by this, and they just had it. It's they're not gonna just shoot up some random school. That's not usually the case.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
usually
it's usually a
personal
kid who was
experience or
broken by
something,
how
yeah.
the other students bullied him.
Exactly. They
And
were
so-
negatively affected by how the school ran,
So like,
how the school worked, and well, that's the outcome.
Like, what I'm gonna say is, like, this doesn't really go back to like the school shooter thing. It kind of goes back to what we're saying about the bullying problem. Like, for example, this like fights in school are definitely like a thing. It's one of the most common things, especially
It's a
person,
Oh, yeah.
like person
You put a
learning.
bunch of kids in a building, they're
And when
bound
they
to
don't-
fight at some point.
Yeah, and what I don't get is that there's clearly a victim in the fight. It's not just two people like, you want to go. Like a lot of times there
No,
are.
there's
and they
clearly
both-
My
someone
parents-
being.
they both
yeah.
should suffer the
Pretty
It's
much
always
consequences.
the
everyone in my
aggressor.
family tells me if you're getting bullied and they hit them
Hit right back.
Exactly.
my
Yeah,
parents,
that
that
is
is
cool.
perfect.
cause
But
my
you gotta get
my
them to hit
parents
first.
say if you get suspended, they wouldn't care as long as you fight back.
Exactly.
Yeah,
My
you
parents
gotta
I
fight
knew
back.
it
Or you're
act-
gonna get your
when
ass
it
first.
came
kicked.
to the law,
Hit back.
Thing to do.
when it comes to
What
the
is
law,
a
that's
common thing
actually
to do?
self-defense, and
Mhm.
it wouldn't be against the law. You'd be you wouldn't be breaking anything. The person who hit you first would be breaking the law, but the school over here doesn't see that. They see, oh, you're in a fight, you're
They
getting
say that both of them were
suspended,
fighting. Both of
expelled.
them are getting suspended.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that goes on your record, like college. Oh, you had a school fight. I don't know about that. This person doesn't have a school fight, but we'll just allow him. Like that goes
Yeah,
on your
over
record for
just
school.
simply defending yourself.
Mhm.
And the thing I don't understand is like the school, like, oh, you're a victim in a fight. You're supposed to tank the hits until the dean or a teacher comes.
Yeah,
Like,
are you
you're gonna
seriously
get
supposed to let this
messed
guy
up.
go nuts on
You're gonna get
just
messed up. What if
until
he had
the
like a weapon? What if he had some sort of
yeah,
like knife on him or something, or
and
a
then all the
gun?
people are watching it, people crowd around. The dean's gonna take a bit to get there and help you.
Exactly.
No one
They're
from the crowd
blocking.
is gonna help you.
And
The
even
crowd's
then,
gonna be
he's
laughing at
probably
you,
who
watching
starts
you
the
get your
fight.
ass
and
kicked.
even then the dean's probably gonna work on moving the crowd away before like he actually like helps
Probably.
Yeah,
with
like
the
I've
fight.
actually
Like you're
witnessed
you're
some of
already
these fights
bloody
before.
and beaten by the time the dean gets to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
it-
witnessed these fights. That is that is actually being an issue, a big issue.
I saw someone that was a pure victim in it, right? And like he started to fight back. Like if someone starts hitting you, like sucker punches you like right in the gut and just like goes for your head, and you like don't block just because the school just like, oh yeah, don't do it, you're gonna get expelled. Even then, if you're the victim, you're gonna get suspended no matter what.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
the whole
reality.
thing
Like
about the
even if you're
college
the
Because
victim,
you got into a fight,
yeah, you can be a kid with
even
like
though it came out of nowhere. You were just standing
Exactly.
there.
You don't even have to be involved with that person beforehand. Like there's some people who just start a fight just because they want to fight. And well, there goes your future because some random dude just wanted to fight you. I noticed that when it comes to individual students, when it comes to, like taking care of that kind of thing, they'll only do maybe the bare minimum, but they at the end of the day they don't really care because sure they have all this anonymous whatever, like, oh, I saw this and that, or I'm being bullied but I don't want the bully to know that I'm reporting it. But
It's all
when it comes to actually dealing with the problem, they like the teacher's like, oh, okay, hey, knock it off, but nothing else. And
it's all
that's like
part
they don't care.
of a larger game. It's part of the
quick
larger
tip.
game to earn money.
Exactly, they just want money. That's all these schools care about, just money. Like they're gonna deny it because like that makes them look
I
bad,
mean,
but
and
that's
it's
really all
not
they care
even
about.
it's not even that like it's the teachers who are like that too. It's mainly like the people in charge of the school. Teachers
Yeah,
usually will
They
try
should-
and help you
they'll
They're
try
the
to, but
puppets.
they just
They're
don't
the
know how to,
puppets.
and
That's the
they should
problem.
know
because the
how
schools won't let them. The people
Yeah,
in
they
power won't
should.
let them.
They
Because
they should be trained in what to do in this kind of situation because it's such a big issue.
That in the end, the teachers are puppets, and the people in power are like people playing the
Yeah,
game.
they all just want money. That's all. And
But
they're using and their
Anyone-
means of
anyone else
profit is
has-
just not going to go away. Of course.
But
anyone
y-
else have any last thing to say out, or you guys good?
I think I'm
stay
I'm
hydrated.
good. I think this.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
Nah.
okay, I'll just wrap it up. It's like, all right, thank you for listening. If you like the video, leave a thumbs
Thank
up.
you. We
If
love
you
you
want to have
guys.
comments in
Share
the
with a
discussion,
friend.
I got
Video,
this.
discussion
I
box.
got this.
in the
Easy,
comments,
I
we
got
can.
I love you guys.
got
Oh, shameless plug. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, provider of